Hello everyone. How are we all doing? Can you guys hear me? Hopefully, I need to remember to talk like presenting voice and not mumbling to myself as I'm doing things voice. Yeah, I know some of you are here. Happy New Year, everyone. I hope you're doing well. Oh, it must be someone. I just heard this random sound. It's like, and then I was like, oh my god, what is it? But I think it's someone using like a hairdryer or something next door. That was, or it could be my boiler. Might be my boiler. Anyway, never mind. So yeah, Happy New Year. Hope you're all doing well. So in today's session, what I'm thinking of doing is like basically just going through the codex of Only Dogs Left, filling it all in, adding details, kind of getting all that stuff started. Um, and just kind of like try and justify why I'm making choices I am. Because I think the thing with codex details is that you kind of want to find what makes it work for you, and you'll find some things work for you and others don't. I think we're all still trying to work out our different routines. So yeah, how does that all sound? Oh, happy New Year, Guy. Hello, Emery. Hello, Michael. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, SA. And Happy New Year, Bonnie. Amazing. Yes. This is going to be a great new year. Do any of you, I don't know if any of you have read the blog article I wrote on the Novelcrafter page about New Year's resolutions and smart goals and the like. Do any of you have any goals or aspirations for the year when it comes to writing? And for anyone, the document is always in the description. I've finally neatened up, so the 2024 ones are all hidden away. But yes, my aspiration for the year is, well, I need to first of all finish my hopefully penultimate draft of book two, which should be I should get done before the end of the month. Like, I'm on track. I've got like 6 or 7 scenes I have to write left. We're getting to the big conclusion. It's getting to the bit where they kiss. Finally. So yeah, that's gonna be good. And then I want to write book three, which I've got ideas about, and I've been like purposefully not letting myself plot it until I finish this. And I'm really excited to just go full on plotting, develop ideas, build the codex from scratch, get things going. Because it's like it's book three, but it's not like the same characters. It's like shared universe kind of vibes. So yeah, so that's my goal, to get book two finished and then book three working on. Hello, Emma and Nikki. Also, SA says getting as much written as possible. Always good. The more words, the more you learn. Michael's goal is to complete the first book of a new speculative fiction series. Nice. Yeah. Now, I think we all keep things like manageable, kind of like it works out, and just see how things go. That's good. If you just go on the Novelcrafter, let me link you all if anyone is interested. So if you go onto the if you go onto the monthly muse, you can see it. But also, if you go to blog and tutorials, we have. Just in case any of y'all are interested. So yes, my goals are once I finish this book, in 6 months essentially, I'm gonna try and write the first draft of my next book, but through like manageable targets and actually planning out the damn thing first, rather than kind of half pantsing, which is my usual go to, or like planning and then not sticking to the plan. I guess is how I normally write. But yes, let's hop into Novelcrafter. So here we've got Only Dogs Left. I'm going to, for the purposes of this, go to the side panel and just make this like hella big, because we aren't really going to need any of like this half. Once I've opened Codex entries again, I can like jig things around. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll go, I mean, roughly top to bottom. I'll do Delilah first as the protagonist. Go through adding in all the different codex categories, maybe adding in some more, seeing what works for me. Oh, okay. So Jody says, any chance of doing another live writing nonfiction from first person perspective, author as I, reading as you, collective as we? Yeah, sure. I will add that to the list. One sec. I'm just gonna add that to the stream ideas page. One sec. But yeah, absolutely. So kind of like blog style or more something or more like email newsletters, or what kind of vibe? How formal are we going? Okay, Nikki says planning and then improving the plan. Yeah, absolutely. Like it's such an iterative. Yeah, I need to make sure I improve the plan after I've planned it, and like plan it in enough detail that I've actually considered everything. Because often I find that I don't consider every possible iteration. Which is sometimes not great. Idea, narrative, non-fiction. Request from 2nd of the 1st 25 stream. Okay. The issue has been created. Amazing. If anyone ever has requests for streams or videos, just holler at me, because I always need more ideas. My list isn't long enough, you know, all that kind of thing. Okay, so let's start with Delilah. And maybe... No, that's not. Let me see if I can... Okay, no, I can't change the brightness of my screen. Okay, Bonnie says, goal, get the behemoth done, finally. I hope to write some every day. Are you the one who had a behemoth that came from a short story, or am I thinking of someone else? But yeah, how far are you through the behemoth? Okay, so let's have a look. So the codex categories I have so far are occupation, story role, backstory, motivations, and voice sheet. Obviously, the voice sheet I filled in, I just took from the other voice sheet, and I already have some additions or like progressions put in. So I'm going to collapse that again. With the backstory, I will probably put in bits from the profile, but I want to go through this now and work out what I'm going to put in and then how I'm going to rephrase things and just neaten them up. When growing up, she I might put that in her description. Like physical appearance, I'm just sticking in the description. However, when she was... How old was she? Like, she wasn't a teenager yet. She's around 8 years old. All she remembers about her parents is that her mum was a mechanic and her dad was a scholar, a researcher of some sort. Because she knows so little of what happened to her parents, Delilah has an innate distrust for officials. She is hyper focused. But relying on anyone else, keeping them at not halves, arm's length to avoid feeling helpless again. She has arrested emotional. I know some of this is personality, but I'm putting it in the backstory because it's kind of like what and why in a way. If that makes sense. Like there isn't just like one personality section because it kind of personality is not just separate from who you are as a person. You know? Okay, so she's arrested emotional development from this. And suffers regular nightmares, immersing herself in work to avoid dealing with emotions. Okay, so we have a backstory. Her motivation. Okay. Delilah is motivated by fairness. She also to know what happened to her family, her parents. No one she has spoken to knows or will tell her. She gets involved with the rebels as she believes, not initially, because otherwise then the AI will use that. As she believes that their goals are aligned. Okay, so Bonnie says, the original book was written back in 1996. It's got like 6 different revisions of it, and I'm hoping to combine all the revisions together and then rewrite the book so that everything works. Good luck. Like, I mean, I bet it's going to be incredible when it's done, but that does sound like a lot of work. Okay. Okay, so let's go. Delilah, a fiery curiosity slash thirst for knowledge. She wants to see the best in others. However, she can be impulsive, stubborn, and it is hard to change her opinion once it has been made up. to back down, but her stubbornness and sense of justice will not let her. Delilah is skeptical of the rebellion's philosophies, but loosely aligns herself with them for hints about Perrin. Some of this I might put into details, but I'm not entirely sure. Like, I'm looking at this and I'm kind of like, I think abilities and strengths I might put in. What have you been using details for? Is there any fun things that you've been trying out? Strengths. I might put character strengths. So I press new detail, text. Then I'm typing character weaknesses. Yeah, Bonnie, absolutely. She has like some form of PTSD, which I think because she's so young when everything happens, she never gets a chance to kind of understand what is going on and recognize it as that, because it's a trauma that didn't distinctly happen to her. Or like it happened to her, but it wasn't like wasn't physically to her because it was the loss because of that. But it means that when Ciara is then arrested, it brings up all of this kind of trauma from then, and it kind of explains why she's so desperate to get her sister back. I think like that's kind of the vibe I'm going for. If that makes sense, if I've worded that correctly. But yeah, I think she's got PTSD from that. Okay, so strengths and weaknesses I can put in. And if anyone has any questions about anything Novelcrafter related, this session is entirely for me to like chat with you guys, get you like show you features if you don't know how to use them, that kind of thing. So just holler at me. I'm going to put these in bullet points. Okay. And probably would have just been easier to highlight and put toggle bullet list. Sometimes I do things like the slow way and I'm like, why did I do that? Okay, so she tries to stay out of conflict and is indecisive when forced to make choices. Impulsive, struggles to remember. Okay, I'm happy with that. And then her general personality and being she wears clothes that have been adapted from tailored them herself. So she's like tailored them herself. Okay, I'm happy with that. I think that works. Okay, so then let's go Ciara. So the first thing I'm going to do is take Ciara's voice and put that into... So I'm going to add all missing details. Go to the very bottom because I know that's where the voice sheet is. I don't know if her... Okay, she doesn't have any progressions. That means I can delete this entry now. Yes, delete. Okay. And then I'm going to pin Kit. And then I'm going to pin Ciara's entry. Occupation. Genesis? Is it you know when you can't remember how you've spelt your own... Oh, maybe it doesn't highlight when it's in here. That's fine. Let's just... Yeah. It's Genesis with a Y. I thought it was. Should always go with my gut instinct. Story roll. See, this is hard because she's... I guess what I'll probably do is... because you can't do progressions at the moment with drop downs, I guess I'll put like... She's not a mentor. I'll put supporting character because whilst she is an antagonist, it's kind of like... Yeah. So SA says, Kate, is there an easy way for the chat to create and outline from just the entries in the codex without copying and pasting it into a document and then giving it to the chat? Yeah, so what I usually do to do that is I create a new entry. If you just want to use the general purpose chat and you don't want to do any custom calls or anything, I'll do like an entry called all things, and then from the relations, I will add everything. So I'll just go. Just keep going like that. And then it means you can use all things as an alias, and then it brings everything in. Otherwise, you can do a codex call in the prompts. So if we go into prompts, I'll close Ciara for a moment. You can do codex.getAll, and that will get your entire codex. Or is it codex.getAll or codex? It's one of these. So if you go context codex all, that's it. Context.codex all. You can add that into your prompt if you didn't want to do the master prompt, the master codex entry rather. Yeah, Bonnie says her sister is all she has left of her family. So yeah, she would freak out. Exactly. It's kind of like that really drives her through the story, and then when it comes to like this betrayal of sorts at the end, she's like proper kind of thrown by it. Okay. I don't know if these I've put in, so I will put those into the... Let's have a look at the voice sheet. So I'll just plump them in there. Okay, motivation. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, I always start with the codex as well. Like I will start brainstorming with the AI, and then actually I'm kind of like going over this on Saturday's class, but I will start with the codex and build and chat and kind of build them up, and then I'll go into a fresh chat and start like actually making everything. And so then you need the entire chat context. But yeah, hopefully that should save you a lot of time from having to like mention every codex entry by name. Okay, some of this is different. Okay, as they become more... Ciara was 16, about 16. Were taken by the authorities in a raid. They'd been working on a the man was looking after Delilah at home when she was informed by Nicodemus about what happened, and she decided to hide this from Delilah to protect her. Tried her best to raise Delilah, but she, with her own guilt and desire for vengeance, she got a job the Hydro Gardens in order to provide more. However, this also allowed her to make contacts with the rebellion, and so has helped her, benefited her in multiple ways. So I've noticed actually that I've not got any strengths or weaknesses written. So at this point, I'm going to go into the chat interface. I'll chat with Sonnet, my favorite. Please read the Codex entry for Ciara and help me define her strengths and weaknesses as a character. So things like this, like if you've got parts that you've not filled in, it's great. It just kind of keeps you going. And I mean, this has gone into such detail actually, so I'll probably have to okay, because it's given evidence essentially. She's also very proactive, whereas I think Delilah is very like reactive, especially at first. She is strong-willed, passionate, and adaptable. Yeah, I mean that all feels very good to me. And I think also the proactive and making decisions and taking justice, that is very like it feeds into the theme of like justice isn't black and white. She's like very much like she's proactive, strong-willed. She's going to do everything her own way or the highway. Thinks everything is black and white, and that's like her strength. Whereas like Delilah's weakness is that she kind of dithers and she doesn't want to take a stand or like, you know, move the status quo. Radical. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Radical tendencies. To let go of control. Does this automatically? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It does make you wonder in stories if like free therapy, free and widely accessible therapy would actually help with a lot of this stuff, making it better. Okay. And then finally, oh, I mean, like absolutely just internal conflict. Wow. So struggles with balance will go to one extreme or the other. Okay, right. So Jody says, with so much detail, how do you keep the AI from pulling random things that may not be related to the current scene or from repeating the same or similar things? So what I try to do is, in my first instance, if it start like I'll put everything in, and then if it starts repeating things or using things that I don't need, I will then either you can go, so if you click on a detail, edit this detail, I can, like, if it happens like all weaknesses are brought up, I can never include it and just choose to hide that detail from ever being seen. Or I can move stuff into the research tab and just like stick it in notes, or delete it completely. That's what I usually do, like especially appearance. Like if you say, like if you specify like eye color and stuff, that might come up loads of times, and so I tend to remove those as they come up in later chapters. And then Chuck asks, how important are Codex entry names for the AI? If I have Bob as an entry and Bob's mannerisms as another, and they're nested properly, would it matter if Bob's mannerisms were named 001, for example? I mean, you should probably have somewhere that it's Bob's mannerisms, even if it's in the description. But to be honest, you could have Bob's mannerisms now as a Codex detail. So you, in that example, I would say have the mannerisms as a detail, not as a separate Codex entrance and entry. Hopefully that clarifies things. Oh, I like that. Like, conflict. Do I have that? No. Okay, I'm going to make a new... See, this is where you start then making new details as you build things. Character conflict. Add character conflict. And then I'm going to then go, okay, Delilah, what are Delilah's opinions on Ciara? So this is like another one, because I've got Delilah as my only point of view character. I'm like, well, if I give, even if someone is the sweetest person ever, if you don't like them, you're not going to see that, or like it's going to annoy you, and like you're going to have like a clouded view. So I want that to be kind of part of this. So every entry that other than Delilah, I'm going to put her thoughts about them on. That's my initial plan anyway. So Delilah's opinion. Back faces. And then Delilah's opinion, I will use progressions. So as the story develops, Delilah's opinion on her sister is going to change. But like at this point, at the beginning, Ciara is her entire world. Like, she doesn't have neither of them have like partners or like other families. Like they are all they have of each other. Okay. Amazing. Okay. So now I'm going to go for Nicodemus. Okay, so SA says, would you create details for a location? For example, in a town, would you create details for shops and municipalities? Yeah, so I did. It's in the Rathskeller. Or is it Nicodemus's workshop? When you can't remember. Yeah, so I have some so I have like a district location. I would, with locations, if it's somewhere that the character is unfamiliar with, I would probably do an internal and an external description. And then if there were like other rooms, I maybe would separate rooms, but like I guess or upstairs, downstairs, because I guess as details you'd want to keep the titles fairly generic. But I would definitely do an outside and an inside description and key people associated with the place. If you had a town, you could do like, have taverns as a detail within it. If you've got like multiple towns and each town has their own tavern, and then you could do one of those codex entries that one of those details that links to an entry. If I go a codex reference, so then you could reference the tavern that's associated with a city and stuff. Okay, so I'm going to add all missing details. Expand that. Plunk. Let's go to the top. That's for the background. Undergoing some dubious experimentation and product development with her parents that led to their arrest. He looks after Delilah partially out of guilt, wanting her, but grows to care for her as his own. Oh my god, now I'm imagining this like really chaotic scene where like, because like Ciara kills Nicodemus, hashtag spoilers, this scene where like she's revealing like that Nicodemus is known about the parents and various things, it would be so beautiful, so chaotic, so heartbreaking. Senior engineer. Get rid of that. Um, um, he wants, I guess Nicodemus's wants, his motivations. No. So I guess he wants to do that. And why is that? Why he is driven by a need to know, to learn, to understand. Whilst he shares his knowledge, he also hoards it. He also is like a black hole, taking it all in. Okay, let's try and sort this out. Okay, we've got that already done. Demus is in his mid-50s. Is distinctly average. Average height, slightly balding. Is of a healthy weight. Has well kept but worn clothing. He is practical. Maybe he wears. Does he wear glasses? He wears a single lens set of glasses to magnify his work. His work and those he is closest to. This conflicts with his brilliant intellect and Cynical. How do you spell cynical? You know what I mean? Don't work to protect the long-term future of the city. Okay, great. Now please state the character strengths, weaknesses, and conflict. Nicodemus. I think this is one of my favorite bits where I've got like my codex and then I can just have chat at the side and just kind of like go back and forth between them. Okay. And politics and is willing to share. But only when they have earned his trust. Would you like to see me, I guess after I've done this first set of characters, like once I've done Perrin, do more characters, or maybe like go on to some locations or lore or something else and do the codex details there? Okay. Internal conflicts. And that was basically what I needed. Character growth potential. Okay, moral dilemmas. Yep, right. Okay, so I'll do Perrin and then, oh no, Delilah's opinions, then Perrin, then something else? More characters? Locations? Lore? I've got a lot of codex entries, so I can do a lot of work on this. So yeah, holler at me. Okay, Delilah's opinions. Latched onto his father-like, having father-like presence after her parents' disappearance. Locations. Okay, someone says locations. Anyone else got an opinion? Latched onto his father-like presence after her parents' disappearance. She believes he has a good heart and is an open book. Lol. Sweet. Okay. See, Perrin actually hasn't got. Perrin has changed a lot since I wrote this codex entry, which is also a really good reason to be like, guys, check your codex entries regularly, because I've made a lot of changes in my head and in the book to Perrin, but his codex entry still has a lot of old stuff, and so that might then impact on the prose, which probably has actually. So it's gonna be really good for me to edit this. I don't think I even have a voice sheet for him, which says everything. Okay, yeah. Other people are saying locations as well. Sweet. Here's a dog handler. I'll say police, the equivalent of that, I guess. Here's the love interest. Was one of convenience. What she was an archivist in the burning libraries. My God, if he's born to the family that owns the Genesis Gardens, that would be quite big actually. So maybe not. So for his wife, and supported her. He knew she was investigating something secretly, but never found out what. One day he woke up to find her dead beside him. He was never officially blamed for the death. There was enough suspicion surrounding him that Perrin never felt he could investigate properly himself until now. Okay, so yeah, Nikki says, what is the best way to deal with locations? Do you have a codex for the area and then add descriptions of the places you'd find there? And if you have a key location in the area, would you break that into separate codex entries and reference the two? Okay, yeah. No, I will go into how I'm going to handle these. Yeah, absolutely. Getting rid of eyes. Yeah, so much of this has changed, which is crazy. Motivation to find out what his deceased wife was researching before her death. He want and to kill those responsible. He wants justice. Where is the justice? We owe them some justice. Although, to be fair, actually, I might just keep filling in different bits and get the AI to analyze. Well-made clothing. He wears practical but well-made clothing. Quiet luxury, if you will. I'm trying to think, when you're trying to like envision a character and like, yeah. He balances the fine line between being useful and being a threat. Has some impulsive instincts. He has incredible self-control. And will keep himself in line if it means his long-term goals are achieved. He is also, however, incredibly fragile with unprocessed trauma and guilt. Oh my god, they've all got a lot of trauma. I mean, this is a dystopian fiction. Of course, there's a lot of trauma involved, but I kind of feel bad. Oh, God, I feel bad for these characters. Please do the same for Perrin. Investigating, yeah, okay, I'm happy with that. Oh, moral choices. I need to work on a voice sheet for him as well. Okay. I think then we're ready to do some locations. Okay, so we can hide the rebels. Okay, what do I want to do first? I guess the burning library would be useful. It's in the Arconical Cathedral District, so that was easy enough. I guess backstory would be backstory / history for other items. Okay, let's have a think about what else we would add for locations. So I would probably do a exterior or appearance exterior new detail appearance interior oh wait, I meant locations, not objects, lol. What else? I'm gonna go function. And that's gonna be for objects and locations. I feel like function is a good thing to have for a place. Let's put these in and then see how we go. mean, this is mostly general information, which I would probably keep there. So that's fine. I mean, I'm going to get rid of that because that's a bit... As a key infrastructure, and it is heavily guarded. So then we're going to do backstory history. The Burning Library is the heart of Nova Bezos's knowledge of the past world. It includes documents and devices, and is carefully preserved that when information can be used, it can be found. After the Archonical Cathedral and Genesis Hydra Gardens, this is the third most important building. That is not as well guarded. Okay, what else do I want to put in? A deceptively simple building from the outside. The library is fortress-like and built to withstand the extreme cold. It is heavily insulated and utilitarian for the most part. It's the upper levels have rows of desks where researchers or members of the... Oh, so would you include something for other sensory details, background sounds and smells? Yeah, I mean, to be honest, you could you could do like that in the appearance, or like maybe instead of appearance, you could put description interior and description exterior, and there you could do your physical sounds and smells. I think that would work. Just change appearance to description. That is in response to this question here. Hopefully that makes sense. The upper levels have rows of desks where researchers or members of the city look at material. It is reference only. Strict patrols of monitoring and bag searches upon exit. See, this is all, it's not appearance, so I guess description would definitely be better. So I'm gonna edit those. As you go lower. Actually, I might add in descriptions of the lower layers later as a progression, because Delilah won't know what they are. That's a great use of progressions if you're going to have a place revealed later on. So its function in the story is the hub of knowledge, and the entirety of the city's past. That feels fine. So yeah, I think, to be honest, that's probably all I would include at this point. Does anyone else have anything they think I've missed out on? I would love to know if that's the case. Oh, Happy New Year, Paul. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. We're looking currently at Codex details, and kind of just adding them in for the story, slowly chugging through. Like, it's, I mean, you've seen how long it's taking me, and this is my 5th entry, so it's harder than it looks. And I was like, oh my god, I'm actually properly. I mean, I think this will work out really well once everything is written, but it's kind of like trying to get everything sorted is kind of hard. Oh, I'm glad you like the library. I mean, libraries are great. Always love a library, but yeah, I think this is gonna go well. If you have a description for the other parts, could you add those in behind a section from AI? Yeah, absolutely. You could do it as a description and hide it. Or, I mean, I probably would just go to the chapter where, I don't know, say this is the chapter where she goes to the burning library. I would then be like, okay, well, let's make a codex progression. Let me just minimize this. The burning library, and then I'd go interior, and then I'd add in, okay, so in the lower floors, the architecture grows older. There is a lot more wood used, and I don't know. And then you can see that it's here. So I think I would use progressions rather than hiding the detail. Just because they're so easy to add in. If you're then using it over multiple series, I guess that would then cause issues. But if you're not, then that's fine. Delilah is a little intimidated by the library. She feels very uncultured there, and hides and tries to not touch anything. She doesn't have to. Paul says, question on prompts models. Max tokens, is this for input tokens or output tokens? I believe this is for output tokens. So yeah, and obviously the models all have their own like intrinsic limit, so you can't stop, like you can't just tell it to write in more tokens than it can physically. However, it's good for if you find that the AI is overrunning and just constantly it's like writing and writing and writing, and just to kind of constrain it. That's kind of more, I think, where the use would be. of course, you want to make sure there's no limit on the output tokens when you're typing in and you're setting a value. And because every model has its own tokenizer, it's a little bit hard to guess, but that would be my instinctual answer. Do you want to see me do another location or something else? I'll probably do a couple more entries and then head off. So, yeah. Yeah, blank is no limit. Or like blank is the model's set limit. So yeah, I guess the equivalent of the max limit. To be fair, for the dogs, I would just add in Delilah's opinions and did I put them as an object? Oh my god. And then owner. I guess because they're not a character. Did I do it that way? I don't know. Oh, that's kind of tragic. Delilah is scared at first, having very little interaction with with animals. Let's be real, like there's probably not going to be that many animals like within the city. The dogs want love, affection, and warms up to them much more quickly than she does their owner. What do I want to do next? Oh, so you can see here the person that was asking. So I have a characters entry where I had all my characters mentioned when I was using it for like brainstorming. Do I have more money? Like, I think that is out of date, so I'm gonna archive it. Um, so the Perdition Arena, and so there's the Perdition Arena Coliseum that has within it the Perdition Arena and the Perdition cells. So I've done them as nested entries, the two different bits because it's two aspects of the same area. I'm going to. What is the AC? Okay, yeah. Okay, so let's take Archon's Breath. That's an object. I look at that and I'm like, okay, that is it's a drink. I don't feel the need to add any details to that, even though you could easily add one for appearance or effects and stuff. To be honest, I think that kind of says enough for me. Likewise with the Geocore. Vivarium Sphere. Yeah, that pretty much. I guess I could put backstory in there. I think I would maybe do a detail for backstory. I guess maybe with the drinks, I would put Delilah's opinion in for when she has her first drink of them. That could also be an option. I'd have to think though. When the Ice Age showed signs of starting. A billionaire commissioned a giant glass dome to be made and placed over land he had bought in the Amazon rainforest. This dome protects from the harsh winds and low temperatures whilst utilizing the sun for heat, greenhouse like. There are biannual where the air is fully changed over, gives a microclimate that is the equivalent of winter. What else would I put? Yeah, that's enough for now. Delilah's opinion. I guess function as well. I'm putting in more of these than I thought, but you know. Most days Delilah doesn't think twice about the dome. If there is a ventilation day, then she bemoans that she is going to be cold. I think she literally has no opinion on it until like maybe later in the story she'll get one, but like it's just a thing. I mean, this is not a character, it would be lore. Delilah's opinion, backstory. A way to replace as time progressed and technology failed, dome dramas are now the primary not clean, primary non-violent source of entertainment. Many have a favorite troop that they and often collect tokens that show that they've been to see a show. Tuck says, interesting. So you've got a detail for your protagonist and opinion on everything. Yeah. Because I mean, like, I think especially for like first person point of view, I think it, you know, it would be useful. But that's something that I've just decided that I feel that, well, she is gonna have opinions on everyone that are different to like an unbiased opinion. You could always cloud every codex entry with like through your protagonist's filter. If you had 2 protagonists as well, or like 2 point of view characters, this would be good because you could have Delilah's opinions and Ciara's opinions or whatever. But yeah, I feel like it just kind of, I've not tested it yet, but I feel like it both helps me, like know more about the character, and you know, hopefully it'll help the AI. Delilah, as big a fan of them as, what is her friend called? Honor. However, she finds the riggings they use for props fascinating, and will help maintain them in exchange for a free show. Tuck says, I have several. This is interesting. Yeah, I mean, you know, give it a go and let me know how you find it. I did a test in the stream, the last stream of last year, the class, where I looked at, was it in here? No, maybe it was in a blank book. Or I deleted it maybe. But I did a chat where I got it to describe Nicodemus's workshop from Ciara and Delilah's point of views, and it did a good job of like showing it through their filter. It was a bit like on the nose, but that's just a matter of me needing to edit stuff. Okay, so we've done some lore. Let's filter by type lore. Okay, you can see here, I've already put Delilah's opinions here. So that's fine. To be fair, I don't really need this timeline / history anymore, so I'm going to archive it. Dragon's Loft says, character point of view opinions is a great idea. I'm going to add that myself. Yeah, no, definitely. Let me know, everyone, how it goes. Because, like, I show these ideas of things I do in my work, and, like, I tailor it to the stuff that I'm writing. So it'd be great to know how applicable it is over a larger scale, like a larger sample population, and if you use different models than I do, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, backstory. Networks were established I would suggest starting out by only adding the detail to stuff when they interact with it. Like, you don't need to have every character's opinion for every little thing if you're not going to have a scene with them, or you're not going to have a scene with it for 3 books time. Like, just do it as it's needed and see where it takes you. Especially if you've got a large codex, that could like add up to a lot of stuff. Um, were adapted. Okay, Delilah's opinion. She's used personal. She's used the CW like twice and found walking to the other person's house much quicker. She uses official comms on a more regular basis. Finds the system faulty and the projectile messages can hurt if someone has left the cap off the tube and it hits you in the face. Yeah, 1,000 entries is a lot. Yeah, only use it for like things that like if you're, I guess in your case, if your character doesn't have a strong opinion on something, then you don't need to mention it. I feel like it's only when if you've got multiple point of view characters, only if they're going to interact with it directly, or it's going to get mentioned, or they have a very strong opinion on it and it gets mentioned. Otherwise, yeah. Like some of this, I'd probably like some of these lore things I'm probably going to get rid of as I'm like editing, so I wouldn't do those, but yeah. I'll go into more detail there, I think. In learning about the failed improvements, however, she it had all been hushed up. She remembers a little about the famine itself. However, she was very young. I think no, she wasn't born yet. She wasn't born until after the famine. And you have to remember things. Yeah. Yep, that is Delilah doesn't know it exists. There is no rebellion until she learns it exists. Okay, I'm going to filter by type. So I've done some objects, I've done some locations, I've done some characters. I'll see what others I've got. Okay. Oh, actually, I'm just gonna use that as a quick way in. She needs opinion on that. How well positioned the damage was to cause the most impact. to do this much damage, or to do this so precisely, you'd need to know about how the gardens worked. It's much more precise than the sabotage in the PDAC. Oh, so this is just a mechanics entry that I have all the mechanics in for when I'm brainstorming. Oh, this is when I was doing my original brainstorming. Okay, I'll leave them there. That's my genre. Okay, that's fine. Filter by type. So I'm going to head off in about 5 minutes. But I'm going to give you a chance if anyone has any questions before I go, to ask away. Whether it's about Codex details or anything, just let me know, and then I can answer them before I head off for the evening. At the moment, I'm just moving everyone's voices to there. Just getting rid of all these additional voice sheets. I don't think I have any more. Shards is not shards would be a object. Okay, interesting that Perrin's was there. I mean, you know, whatever, but I'll have a look at that in a bit. I'm assuming, I mean, I don't know how much there is a lag, but I'm assuming that there aren't any questions. Or if there are, they're very long ones that people are still typing out. Tux says, I think I'm going to do this on a character by character basis. Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's definitely worth doing that that way so you don't get overwhelmed. And like some of these like characters, if I'm not going to see them or like use them much, I might not even do all this like with the confident. The fact that I'd already done a lot of this is beautiful, and thank you, past me. I mean, obviously not everything's there, but I'll have to do a proper voice sheet for her. The woman is everything Delilah doesn't want to be. I can do some more later. Okay, amazing. 5 minutes up. I am going to go and have a drink and some food. So thank you everyone for coming. There's been a lot of you. It's been really fun. On Saturday, I'm gonna we're gonna work on a like super beginners series, like a kind of if this is your first session in Novelcrafter on different at different stages in your writing. So we're starting that on Saturday. We had a good planning session today for it. So I'm looking forward to doing that with you all. So yeah, I will see you guys on Saturday. Yeah. Bye.